What happens if a situation arises that you were unprepared for? A situation such as a blizzard, a tornado, or being locked down due to a virus. Put yourself in any possible situation that could arise. Now ask yourself, what would you do? Where would you go? What do you need? Are you ready? Because what if tomorrow? Welcome to What If Tomorrow. I'm Philip.
I'm Mark.
And first of all, I want to say happy Labor Day to everybody. Hope you had a good day off. Hope you were more productive than I've been today or all weekend. No, it was kind of nice. We took a break last week just to kind of gather our bearing a little bit. We've been hopping pretty good, so I appreciate y'all's patience with that. But we're back again, and we've got a couple good shows lined up for you. Today, this week, Wednesday for On the Fringe, and then again next Monday on What If Tomorrow. If you guys are still new, we're throwing a little bit of different language around because we kind of changed our name up. We went back to What If Tomorrow for this podcast, and we're On the Fringe on Wednesday nights. We're just kind of restructure, kind of realign everything, working on new logos, stuff like that. I don't know. Kind of lost here, but this break's kind of kicked me, kind of haven't been thinking about it. I've tried to get some research done today, on tonight's topic. I know Mark and I, we talk a ton about it. Just about every preparedness show we talk about it. And that's about becoming part of a community. And that's strictly what tonight is. We're going to discuss how to actually build a community. Not necessarily online. I mean, online community is great. We have a great community, I think, with the with the podcast group. Got some good people in there. They comment, post, all that good stuff. But when times are tough, like what's going on right now, we're looking at food shortages, we're looking at gas shortages, you name it, everything's going to be short. It's debatable whether it's intentional or not by the powers that be. I firmly believe that they are, just because there's a hidden agenda that's not so hidden anymore. But I think the way to overcome all of that is to spit yourself out of the system. Don't rely on the system. And build a community of like-minded people. And we're going to get into that here in a minute. First things first, do us a favor. Check us out over at the website, whatiftomorrowmedia.com. We've got our affiliates EMP Shield with supply, which would be a huge one right now. Who else we have? I do this every time. It never fails. Yeah, EMP Shield. We've My Patriot Supply, Conflicted the Game. It was a lot of fun, pretty interesting. Really makes you think about situations. If you didn't catch it, go back and watch or listen to the episodes that we had here a few weeks ago, maybe a month or so ago, with Will. He jumped on with us and played a game with us. Really thought-provoking and challenging. It challenges your morals. It really makes you think outside the box on how on how you would react in certain situations. Maybe some situations you've never even thought of. Right. Also, we've got some new T-shirts and stuff in the work. I've been working on a new logo for On the Fringe. I've been trying to think of some other T-shirt ideas. So if you have a T-shirt ideas, drop it down over on the Facebook group, the What If Tomorrow podcast group. We'll see what we can do with it. I've been working on we'll say limited edition T-shirt for the Paracon that's happening with Jess awesome. And Pam and Mark and the whole SEK Bordertown Paranormal Society. They're putting on a Paracon at the end of September 24th, if I remember right. Is that right, Mark? Right. Um, Come out and join it. It's going to be a good time. It's going to be an all-day event. I think the doors open at 9:30, if I'm not mistaken. Um, Let me pull it up. That way I
Paracon
can
itself starts at 10. Or 10:30, sorry.
Okay, 10:30.
Yeah. But we can run a little bit late, just depends. We won't just cut it off, mid-speech. We're going to have a number of panels, uh, and it's gonna be really interesting. It's even if all we do uh, is get people together from the 4 states in the community to get together and network, I'll consider it a success. But we've
Yeah.
already had quite a number of people pre-register. Get on the website, get on our Facebook group, and click the link to go pre-register. Uh, we don't have a definite number on how many people can be in the building, uh, but we're going to say it's somewhere between 1 and 300.
But yeah, if you're watching, we've got the schedule of events posted. They're up here. I'm sharing it right now. The conference schedule is 9 a.m. arrival meet and greet. 9:30 a.m. doors open for the public. 10 is the start. Now they're going to talk about local lore and legends of the 4 states. Which, if you're not familiar where we're at, we live down in the southeast corner of Kansas, so we border Oklahoma. I mean, Mark can spit across the state line.
Yeah, I can go out my back door and pee on it.
Yeah, I mean we're maybe an hour from Missouri, maybe a little over an hour from Arkansas. So that's what they call the 4 state area. Yeah, there's going to be several speakers. I don't know. See, we got Darren Thompson, which Daryl Doc McGlumpy. He was there last year, right?
Yep, Doc was there last year.
Then the ghost guy, Jason Alexander, he was there, I think, last year.
Yep.
Lisa
have,
Martin.
Yep. And they've got a public access TV show in Missouri.
Cool.
There's
cool.
Dark Ozarks. So that'll be awesome. And they'll be bringing their books. We're going to have quite a few more vendors than I didn't know we were going to have any vendors. And all of a sudden, people started asking, "Can we set up?"
Oh, well, nice.
Sure. So we've got vendors. It'll be interesting.
Sweet. And Mark and I will be during lunch. Lunch is going to be like 11:45 to 12:50 or so. We're going to be recording stories. I'm going to try to figure out how we can live stream our show during lunch and possibly for a little while afterwards. So if you guys want to join us there, through the SEK Bordertown Paranormal Facebook group, they're going to be Facebook living as well. So do them a favor, go support them. Pam and Jess are good friends of the show. So speaking of, hey Jess. So yeah, go support them in their show. So, or go support them in their Paracon. It's a lot of fun. Good people. So, anyway, let's talk about the news real quick. There's a lot of things happening in the news.
Yes.
I think I read today where Russia has cut off all natural gas going to Europe.
Oh, yeah. They're using green energy as a weapon.
Right. And I've seen where OPEC is cutting back oil production. So prepare for your gasoline prices to go back up.
They want to drive it up.
I mean, not that they really came down anyway compared to what they were here a couple of years ago, but this is the world we live in now. And that's kind of why we're doing this show, is just to maybe impart a little bit of knowledge. I mean, maybe that's a stretch, but I want to share and yeah, put the thought in your head, make you think about things, make you have the conversation with people, even if it's with us. You can email us, you can message us on Facebook, all that good stuff. Even if they have the conversation, if you have any questions about anything that we talk about, by all means, messages. I enjoy actually seeing them, corresponding with our listeners and watchers now. But now that's the biggest thing I see in the news. I guess there's 70,000 people in Denmark protesting. I mean, it's going crazy in Europe, and it's a matter of time before it gets here.
Oh yeah,
where they've made fertilizer illegal for the farmers. I've seen where they're dumping trailerfuls of like manure and stuff like that in front of their Capitol houses and stuff like that. But you don't really see it on the mainstream news.
Oh no, they don't want you to see that. Yeah, that doesn't fit the narrative.
Right. Yeah, it's not all, peaches and cream here. I mean, everybody knows it. Then you have the president coming out in his speech last week basically saying anybody in the MAGA crowd is a terrorist, they're fascist, and all that. You have to realize that all he's doing is causing division. He knows it. He's not an idiot. No matter what we think, he's not. At the very least, his handlers aren't. They know there's a reason they're doing this.
Right.
Now, I'm probably going to say something that's not very popular. But I don't like either side, left or right. However, I do identify more with the right. But they're all cowards and they're all power hungry. So you need to really start looking locally to change things.
Right.
And Mark, I'll move right into the show if you don't have anything else to share.
No, I mean, I agree with you to start local, and I'm going to throw it out there again. Get on Convention of the States, volunteer your time, even if it's just to share messages with your friends, get on there and sign the petitions for your local legislators to get on the ball and get that going, because that is the only way we're going to clean Washington up. Is to get rid of everybody and start over.
We have to. That's the only way out of this that I can see at a national level.
Right.
Now, let's be honest. I mean, if they did their job constitutionally, the Constitution protects the borders, provides for common defense, regulates trade, and alliances, things like that. They're not supposed to be in our face. They're not supposed to be in our lives every day.
Yeah.
So the people need to take the power back.
Yeah, they want to run our lives from cradle to grave.
Right.
Now they're wanting to co-parent our children, in their words. I'm sorry.
Right.
I've seen what the government's done to the post office. I don't want them to have any more to do with my children than they have to.
Right. Right. Absolutely. Now, I'm not trying to come across negative, anything like that on this show. I really don't. I want this to be a positive show, but this has everything to do with our topic. Leafa. My son, hey guys, just sit down with supper. We in for a juicy episode? I hope so.
Only if you got my sinuses, man.
Yeah, pretty much. Mark's had to mute a couple times already. So
yeah.
Where I'm going with this line of conversation is community. Like I said early on, we talk about community all the time. Build a community, build a community, build a community. Okay, now is the time we need to be doing this. I have some ideas I've kind of shared with my wife and a few select people. It doesn't have to be widely known. So I'm kind of trying to keep it hush-hush a little bit. So I'm not exactly going to share what my idea is, but it involves community. If you start with just meet and greets with people, going to farmers markets, going to anywhere that's like a local hangout, grocery store, post something on a billboard. Hey, let's have a potluck for people who want to come. Be the leader. Don't wait for somebody to do this. Lead. Step off. Grab up some intestinal fortitude and be the first one to make that step. Because you'd be surprised the number of people who are waiting for somebody. Everybody seems like they're waiting on something. Myself included. I'm not going to lie. But
I'm
everybody
guilty.
seems to be waiting on something. Nobody's acting. I guess you could say we act through the podcast, but we only have so much reach. Locally, nationwide, and it's around the world. Believe it or not, and it blew my mind when I first started seeing that we're around the world. People are listening to us from everywhere. And it's awesome. I mean, in its essence, yes, it is a community. But right now, let's focus on the things that we can change. Let's focus on the things that we can do. And building a good community is one of those things. Spit yourself out of the system. Make it to where you're not reliant upon the established system. There's ways around it. There's things that you can do. And I'm still doing a lot of research into that. Because IRS and all that, they're 85,000 agents. They're there for a reason.
Oh yeah.
So if you can find a way to get around that, something that's not going to bring any revenue in. One of my ideas is like a food co-op.
Right.
Not in the essence of we're going to source all this food, whether it be from ranchers or, farmers and stuff around the area, which is a great idea, and keep everything local. But a food co-op is totally different than what my idea is. Because a food co-op's intent is to bring in money, and you split the profit evenly among members of the co-op.
Right.
And it's all good, though. I mean, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. What if you have a group of people and somebody that has land, maybe one of the members or something like that, and you guys trade time and labor for the fruits of your labor, whether it be
Right.
vegetables or beef or milk or what have you. You're not selling it.
No.
Because if you're willing to pay, if you have somebody that doesn't have a lot of money to invest in it, they can invest with their labor and help people work ground, help plant, help run irrigation, things like that.
There's never enough time.
No, there's not.
You can always use more hands.
Absolutely, you can. And then the total opposite. If you know somebody that has money but not time, and they're willing to invest into this project, they can invest the money for things that you might need, like a new irrigation system or a backhoe rental or something like that, while somebody else can do the work. These people can front the money to help out. This is just an idea. But you have to start somewhere, whether it be talking to close friends who are like-minded. I mean, everybody's not going to see eye to eye 100% of the time.
Right.
But when you come together as a community, as you build this community, the possibilities are endless.
Right.
I shared on here a while back, something I really want to do is to build a retreat. Have some tiny homes, I guess what they're calling them now, the storage units being converted into living quarters. I want to have a number of them, and I want to bring in homeless veterans and give them a place to stay. I have a little bit of property. I've got more projects than I do property. That makes sense. and these guys could work the farm or whatever you want to call it, work the property, little projects here and there. It gives them something to do. Plus, it gives them a place to stay. That's something I truly want to do,
Well, and the
is to help
pride
out
of
homeless
growing
veterans.
their own food,
Right.
it's a big thing. I miss it. I miss the farm sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah. It seems like, you work harder, but things seem to be more simple, if
Oh
that
yeah,
makes any sense.
it does.
You know, I mean, but like I said, you have to start somewhere. And like I said, if you have a handful of people, let's say you know somebody that's got like 20 acres. You know how much food you can grow on 20 acres?
A lot.
A ton of food. My wife and I have been talking about going, and because our garden didn't do worth a damn this year because the heat and lack of rain, it just went to crap. But now that it's cooling off, well, I've got tomatoes blooming. I've got, where I cut off the heads of cabbage and stuff that we did get. We've got little bitty cabbages growing back on. Uh, it's like everything's kind of reawakened since we had a little bit, and it's cooler now, and which is a good thing. So we're going to ride it out and see how long it takes, or what we
Yeah,
can
you may
get
have
out
a
of it.
good harvest this fall.
I hope, man, I do, because this summer wasn't any good, and it seems like we watched some people on YouTube that are over in Missouri, just east of Springfield, I believe, and they homestead hard. That's all they do. They homestead, and their garden was crap. But now that it's cooling off, it's taken back off again. It's weird, but I mean it's nature, and it is what it is. Um, but to start, where do you start? A lot of people don't know that. Like I said earlier, right now is a good time to go to your farmers markets, your local farmers markets. I know we have several around here. Whether you're buying, whether you're selling, whatever. For one, if you're buying, I mean, if anybody had a decent garden, you'll get some good produce.
A lot better than you can buy in the store these days.
Absolutely. Um,
Seen a lot of the local
two,
farmers or ranchers selling beef,
yep,
and it's not much cheaper, but it's a whole heck of a lot better quality.
better quality, and the money goes to help them.
Yeah, and it's not full of hormones
Right.
and junk.
Yep. It's not going to be processed. It's not going to be from a big producer or anything like that. And again, the money stays in your community and it goes to help them.
Yeah,
Your local community.
no need to send it to Arkansas or whoever the heck you're buying stuff from.
Right.
Don't send it to China, who's buying up farmland. Buy from your
Yeah,
local
Levi.
producers. If you live in a rural area, there are all kinds of things. You just got to get out and ask. Who's got fresh
Yeah.
corn? Who's got tomatoes? Put an ad on Facebook for your local community. Somebody's going to answer you and tell you. And that's a good way to start community. You can start on social media. I have no use for social media, but you can actually, start your community from social media.
Yeah, absolutely.
Start a Facebook group and swap.
Yeah, start a Facebook group. I mean, talk to people. I mean, I don't know how many people on Facebook that I have that I really don't talk to very much locally.
Right.
Yeah, my wife's like, and we have eggs. Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
Hey, there's an idea for us. We can start a Facebook swap group for food.
Yeah, I mean there is. Yeah, we can do a local one. I mean,
Yeah.
But my thing is, your close knit group of people, whether it be family, whether it be close friends, kind of like when Mike was talking about like a 3-man militia type thing. But it's not a militia. I mean, you're there to whether, I mean, you may be growing food. You may be working alternative power sources, solar. If you have somebody that has knowledge in it, you could build a whole. I mean, I sit on 10 acres.
Yeah.
There's so much I can do with that. And I have no knowledge of like solar and wind and all that stuff. I don't like electricity. I'm not going to lie. This shit hurts too bad. So I don't want to deal with it. But the key is finding those people. I mean, what is it? What do they say? 6 degrees of separation. I think it's 6 degrees of separation, where you are 6 people away from knowing everybody in the world. And I mean, it's hard to think about when you look at it, but it's weird. There's a guy. Well, there's actually a couple of guys that I work with who grew up with somebody I met when I was in the Marine Corps in South Carolina. It's a small world. It really is.
Yeah.
And we have some guys up here now helping us out who work with the guy that I served with. You gonna make it? Mark's standing over here dying. He's got a cold or something.
Yeah. If I talk too much, I start coughing.
But again, start at a farmer's market. They're going hard right now. They're going to be finishing up probably October, after the first frost.
Yeah, anyway. Well, you'll start seeing some squash and stuff after the first frost. There'll be a flurry of squash.
Yeah. I mean, is that Pam? I'm guessing that's Pam. No matter where we go to investigate, I almost always know someone or am related to someone.
That is definitely Pam. Yes. Even though it's not, she does. She has a cousin everywhere. She does. We could actually go anywhere and have a place to stay.
Yeah, that's not a bad thing. But yeah, that's the biggest thing is finding those like-minded people. And a lot of people don't want to take that risk. Oh man, they're going to laugh at me. You don't have to come out and say, "Hey, let's do this." I mean, you don't have to say, "Hey, this is what we're planning." Just hey, get a community. Just again, your local bulletin board at your local restaurant or your local grocery store or I don't know, convenience store or something, and Facebook, you could put it out there. A community potluck.
Right.
Or
through your local church.
Or go through your local church. That's a big one.
Your church family is family. They'll help you.
It is. Absolutely. Just have a community potluck. Because with the times we're rolling into and we're in now, you need that community. I'll be the first to admit I am not a people person. I'm not. I close up when I'm around a lot of people, especially a lot of people I don't know. I close off. But I am willing to step forward and say, "Hey, let's do this." Find a way. There's always a way. Absolutely. My wife, she said, "I bet there's some old ladies that know how to can in your church." Guarantee it. Especially in our area, these little country churches, I guarantee it.
I bet there's someone in there who'll make you snap beans for days.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. My fingers started aching thinking about it.
Yep, I've snapped many a bean.
Yes, beans come in bushel tubs. And sometimes many bushel tubs.
Yep. I got an idea, Mark. Just hit me. And there's something I want to share with you after the show as well. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I can see Pam now.
We can see you now, Pam. Got an idea. It is a lost art. My wife put Canning's a lost art. And it is. It absolutely is. Speaking of, I did make up some pickled quail eggs. I might send a jar home with you.
Nice. Yeah, I'll eat them before going to work. Share the joy.
Yeah, I got like three pints of them. I mean, it was like 50 some eggs. It's hard to
Oh
believe,
my,
but yeah.
sounds delightful, sir.
We'll see how it goes. It's the first time I've ever made them. But I have an idea. I knew I was going to get it. Chris put the eye roll emoji.
Oh no.
That's what I was going for.
Mm.
Let's figure out. We'll have to eat outside of doing this. Sit down and talk about it. But how about we try to figure out a little kind of meet and greet type thing with us?
That'd be all right.
On the Facebook group.
We could do that.
It'll be local. Maybe one weekend. I don't know. Let's figure out the details later. But what are your thoughts on that?
I don't have a problem with that. We could meet at a local restaurant. Depends on how many people want to come. We could rent the community center down here.
I think that would be fun to do a What If Tomorrow community get together.
Yeah, there's a lot of people in this area. I mean, who listen. So I think we could have a pretty good turnout.
Yeah, I think that'd be cool. Maybe do it, meet and greet, have fun. Just visit and just talk about things. Nothing major. I think it'd be something to see. The county, Pam said the county extension office teaches canning. That's good to know.
There you go.
Not to mention there's tons of resources online. You have YouTube, you have wherever. I mean, you can look.
Walmart carries canning supplies. You can order them on Walmart.com and order them in bulk.
Yeah, I mean they've got even though it's canning season right now. I was looking yesterday because I was looking for spices and stuff for the eggs. They have tons of stuff in there. Early on, this year we bought a whole bunch of. It is. We bought a whole bunch of jars and stuff early on that because we thought we were going to have a decent garden, and it kind of went to crap. So we're setting on these boxes of jars and stuff.
Maybe we should make moonshine.
That's a good idea too. I know somebody. I know somebody that knows somebody.
It's good barter material. I mean, you can't sell it, but it is good barter material. I'll trade you this here pint of moonshine for, an ounce of ham. Yeah, there you go.
There's another good idea. My mom put on there Christmas is up on us, and how about a craft fair?
Craft fair would be fun.
Kind of like an old-fashioned type craft fair thing. So I mean, it's just ideas like that. You throw around with people, you talk to people. Okay, to know the people. If you don't know them, I mean, it's hard for me to trust somebody.
Right.
It really is. If we're being open and honest, I have a hard time trusting people, but I feel that I'm good at reading somebody. With that being said, I mean, you kind of have to pay attention. You got to pay attention to the people you're around. You have to pay attention to the people that are around you. Listen to your gut. Because when people try to group up, there always seems to be somebody that wants to throw a wrench in it.
Yes.
I'm not trying to be conspiratorial or anything, but it's the truth.
There's some people who like to stir the pot.
Right.
And not want to eat out of the spoon.
Right. So in my mind, if you're going to create a community, you all need to be in it together. Whether you're doing work, whether you're putting out the money to do the work, but also, let's say we did that here in my place, my 10 acres. It wouldn't be just up to me, even though my wife and I own this property. it wouldn't be just up to me what we planted. I mean, for the most part, we plant what we're going to eat.
Right.
But if somebody else wants to plant something that we didn't plant, it's up on them.
They've got to take care of it.
Right. Your little community needs to meet and say, okay, this is what we've got. Let's vote on it. But chances are with 10 acres, I'll have room if you want to plant a patch of Brussels sprouts, which I'm not a huge fan. I'll be honest.
That's all right. I'll eat yours.
But let's say you wanted to plant the Brussels sprouts. I wouldn't have an issue with it because we're all in this together. We're doing the work. We're taking the monetary burden to share this so everybody can eat. That's all you're going to pay for it. That's my idea is you bring these people together. They put the labor out. They take on the monetary burden. They help take care of the place, of the garden. I'm not going to be out here, especially if it's my house. Well, you're part of this now. You got to help me keep my yard mowed. No, I don't see it that way. If there's something that you can add to it, let's say, my wife will like this. Let's say somebody wants to put some goats out here. They want goats. Let somebody wants
goats
that.
Are tasty.
Do what?
Goats are tasty.
They are. But, you can get milk goats. You can get meat goats. They're all sorts. If they wanted to do that, they'd come before the group, the community. We'd vote on it. And sure, let's do it. So we, I knew it. My wife, yes, goats. But if that's what the community wants, we all take a share of the responsibility. Whether, harvest or whatever, we split the harvest up and say, okay, this is it. This is what we've got this week. Or, and then when it comes time for preserving this stuff,
right?
Everybody chips in and helps, snap beans or cut corn off the cob or whatever, just to make this work. That we all have a share and we all have a stake in this because we've all put the labor, we've all put the money into it to say, hey, this is it. This is what we've built and this is what we've earned. Does that make sense? I mean, am I making sense on this?
I think you're making sense on that. Because a lot of people don't have the time to put into it, but if everybody's sharing the time to take care of everything, then yeah, I mean that makes sense. And that, with on the supply and demand thing, if you're not buying as much from the grocery store, they're going to lower their prices too and help other people. That's just how it works. Unless, of course, the government managed to shut down all of our food production.
Right.
I'm sorry, I won't be eating crickets unless they're chocolate covered. Because those are tasty.
Yeah, I have no intention. There's too many resources at our disposal to force people to do that.
Yeah,
and it's ridiculous.
Right, and their argument is cows produce CO2.
Right. Yeah, it's all
millions of buffalo that were here.
Right. It's all manufactured. Every damn bit of it is. Anyway.
Sorry.
Yeah, let's see. Says Levi said, plus having livestock and crops go hand in hand. You can grow livestock feed, and in return, livestock give you the meat and milk. Yep, you're right.
That's true.
So, I don't know. It's just an idea that's been running through my mind, and that's why I wanted to do this show. Is creating a community. When you do that, you guys become stronger.
Right. And you can do it in town too. You don't have to have a
You
friend
can.
in the country.
No, you don't. Absolutely not.
Go
Or you
go
can go.
find your
Now
go
go ahead.
find your guy who owns the empty lot. And see, ask him. Say, hey, if I put a big garden in there, be all right with you, and I'll provide you food and stuff for free. You know, and the community can have a community garden space.
Right. And I think that would be a good thing anyway. I mean, with all these towns and everything else around here, I mean, and I'm sure everybody knows small towns around them. Um, I mean, I know Caney's probably the exception. You can't plant a garden, but you can do raised gardens and stuff like that.
It's only because of the
Um,
lead.
right. But imagine how much healthier you would be. I mean, just health reasons. For one, you're getting out and you're working, kind of doing
Yeah,
some exercise, which I need. Um, two, the food is so much better for you.
it's so much better to eat.
Yeah, it, the flavor is so much better for fresh produce or beef or chicken or what have you.
Right.
It's not loaded with a bunch of crap. It's not made to strictly raise up for 6 weeks and then butcher because there's so many hormones in these damn things.
Right.
Like a lot of your meat chickens are. They're bred and they're designed
Yeah.
to grow so fast. Like was it Will saying here a couple weeks ago?
Hearts
His grandpa
explode.
or his uncle or something like that. Like McDonald's chicken. They bought them 6 weeks. They said you got to butcher them at 6 weeks or they're going to start dying on you. I don't want that.
No.
My wife was looking here a couple of weeks ago because we're talking about because we have the general chicken, I guess you could say. They're good for meat and they're also good for eggs. And man, they're spitting some eggs out big time. Um, I don't think we're up to. I think we got 17 today. So, but we're anywhere between 11 to 17 eggs a day, and that's just chickens, not counting quail. But we've also talked about hatching some of the chicken chicks out, putting them in a separate grow out. Yeah, multi-purpose. That's the word I'm looking for. Multi-purpose. Um, but we've talked about putting them in the grow out and raise them up for meat birds.
Yeah.
And I think what was it? It was a lot longer than 6 weeks. I can't remember the time frame we figured. It was like maybe 6 months, maybe not quite 6 months, 5 6 months or so. And so it's something feasible to do.
Yeah.
And we have the means to do it. We've got an incubator. I'd like to get another one just to have kind of on standby, just in case this one takes a dump. But if you do that, you become more sustainable. And that would be something. If you have somebody that already has something established. Like the eggs. Like we're in full on egg production right now. Like 11 to 17 eggs a day.
Right.
My family can't eat that many eggs.
No, I can't even. And I go through a lot of
You
eggs.
know, yeah. I mean, my family can't. There's no way. I mean, if it was all we ate all day, for one, it'd stink like all hell at the house. Uh, but two, that's something that you can add to your community.
Right.
It's fresh
And
eggs.
a lot of cities let you raise chickens, not
Mm-hmm.
commercially, but like 3 or 4, as long as you don't have a rooster. And you do not have to have a rooster to get eggs. You
No,
just
you
have to
don't.
have a rooster to make little chickens. So if you don't
Right.
mind cleaning up, you can use the manure for composting your garden. Uh, as cheap fertilizer.
Yep.
You can source cheaper foods, chicken food, than you can buy in the stores. I mean, it's
Chickens are
doable.
little garbage disposal. They will eat anything you throw out there.
Yeah, anything edible. Some things that aren't.
Yeah. Levi, my oldest son, if you guys don't know who Levi is, he said, "Oh man, cleaning out the chicken coop in the middle of summer was the worst." Speaking of,
What I see there is experience. So I'll be calling Levi when I get
I
my
was gonna
chicken
say, I was gonna say, speaking of, it needs to be done. You gonna come up and
coop. Sorry. Mm.
all right. Um, yeah, it is pretty bad, but it's got to be done. You know, I mean, you want to keep disease and all that stuff out, and it's almost another full time job. I mean, keeping up with animals and things like that, because you know, and something I've tried to teach my kids is we don't eat until they eat.
Right.
You know, so that's just the priority of your animals, because those animals right now they're providing us with eggs. Eventually, probably here in the next couple of weeks or so, I'm going to try to hatch out another run of quail, but those are going to be strictly meat birds. That's all they're going to give their life to feed us. I know it sounds brutal. I know it sounds harsh, but that's the way of life.
They're not terribly smart either.
No, these things are dumber than bricks, man.
The only thing a chicken is smarter than is probably a quail.
Oh, by far. By far. Quail are dumb.
A family of 4, you need 4 to 6 chickens.
Yeah. You know, we have
So,
right now 23
so go out
hens.
to your local Atwoods and buy 9 chicks. You have a survival rate of 4 to 6.
Yep. You know, the quail, they're quiet. You know, raising the ones we have, they're quiet. I mean, you'll hear the roosters. I don't know if you could call it a crow or not. I mean, I guess you could call it a crow, but it's not really. Um, you can. Those things are quiet, man. All they do is kind of peep a little bit. That's it.
You could raise those in town without causing people to lose their minds.
Yeah. I mean, I think my grow out cage I've got right now that the quail are in is like 5 foot by 2 foot.
Right?
You know, they go through a lot of water.
Yeah.
I mean, they go through a ton of water, quite a bit of feed too. But that's just part of the cost. You know, I mean, could I, with what I have here, I could probably plant like milo and corn and stuff like that, just solely for feeding the birds.
Yeah.
You know, just to let it ripen, bam, go to seed, there it is. And I'd be able to feed my animals. And that is an option that we've got to look at, because when prices get outrageous, and I mean, they're going to get worse, especially
Yeah.
with OPEC shutting the oil and all that. Gas prices are going to higher. Guess what? Everything else is going to get higher because it's got to be transported.
Right.
That's another advantage of forming a community, especially, you know, a gardening community or what have you. They're not going to have to transport that food. Our society has gotten so far away from locally grown, that's ridiculous.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I was looking here a while back. They have little small banana trees you can buy and get small bananas. You know, I was trying to look at fruit and stuff like that. You know, and it's good for the summertime, or if you have a greenhouse.
Oh, yeah.
And you know, you get little citrus trees and things like that. I mean, for ways
Pineapples
to provide,
grow great in a
yeah,
greenhouse.
to provide that vitamin C. You know, so there's always options. You know, my wife and I are wanting to put in a fruit orchard over here on park property. Different types of fruit, apples, pears, and cherries, and we've got so many peach trees. It's not, but they didn't produce this year. You know, and that's what's crazy that usually they produce, but this year they didn't. Our pecan trees, we have several pecan trees. Huh?
That's why it's good to be able to preserve your food.
Right.
Canned goods, excuse me, canned goods can last up to a year or more.
Right. So and plus if you get a freeze dryer, something like that to preserve, they'll even last longer.
Yeah.
But our pecan trees, we usually have, I don't know, we've got 4 or 5 pecan trees down on the back part of my property. There's not one pecan on it. It's just been a bad year all the way around for growing anything. Even around here, I've seen postings and stuff on Facebook that some of the bigger farms around here, a lot of the farmers are just going to bale up their soybeans because there's no beans on them. It's a bad year.
Yeah.
On top of everything else, this is what's happening. I mean, again, it's going to go towards food shortages. I can't say that the heat in the lack of rain is manufactured. I'm not going to say that.
No.
I mean, you're getting into huge conspiracy territory if you think that. Uh, but I mean, it's Mother Nature. Mother Nature is going to do what Mother Nature does. You can't stop it.
Right.
I mean, I don't know how many days this year we've had triple digit heat. No rain. I mean, I've got cracks in the ground, 1.5 inches wide, 2 inches wide. I mean, it's just it's bad right now here, and then there's other places flooding right now. So
Well, and see, that brings up something. Uh, it's a lot easier for a small scale operation to do small scale irrigation than it is for a big operation to do large scale irrigation.
right,
You've got a couple old wells out there. We could drop an electric pump down there and some
yep,
soaker hoses and go to town with some solar power.
yeah,
So,
yep. I've wanted to do a solar pump, but I've got to kind of rework everything. My foot valve I think's messed up in one of my wells. Um,
I know how to change those.
yeah, they're not hard. I just got to
Yeah.
do it. Another thing on my list of things I need to do around here. But with a community, it would be so much easier because it's just not you're not all reliant on just one person.
Right.
And if you really think about it, before everything became industrialized, the farming. I remember my granddad talking about helping other farmers bring in their crops.
Yeah. I
That's
mean, I
what they
remember
did.
that.
They relied on their community. It's something we need to get back to.
When I
I
was a
mean, I'm just
kid,
go ahead.
we would drive around. We had some farm equipment that the neighbors didn't. They had some that we didn't. We just trade back and forth whatever we needed. We didn't have to make the huge investment to have 50 different kinds of implements
Right.
because somebody we knew had it and we had something that they didn't.
Yeah.
So that's how things used to work. That's how communities work.
Right. I mean, my neighbor down the road. If you guys have been listening for a while, um, here a few weeks ago, he came up and told me my dog. It turned out being my dog in the pond or in the mud stuck. He's doing better now. He's out and about, but he's got some damage to him. We're trying to figure out where it came from because he's all jacked up. I don't know if he got hit by a car or something, but that poor bastard, he's been through hell. But anyway, he told me, he used to have a bulldozer business. He'd do a lot of groundwork, dirt work. He's got backhoes, bulldozers, and all that. And he told me, so man, if you ever need any help with, bulldozer or backhoe work, he said, I've got them. He said, just holler at me and I'll come help you out. That's where it starts. It's talking to your neighbor.
Yeah.
It's the biggest thing. I mean, I like to pride myself that I don't have any neighbors, but I really, I do. They're just not close. And kind of where we live at, you kind of need those people, because he walks. He's an old Vietnam vet. He walks, I think he said 3 miles a day, something like that. But it's nice to have those people because they kind of look over your place if you're not there.
Right.
They kind of look out for your place. And vice versa. If we ever go down that way, I always look. You know, I mean, just kind of take care of each other. That's what community is about, is taking care of each other.
And that's what God meant for us to do.
Right. You know, so start there. Start with talking to your neighbor. And if they're not interested, expand. Talk to people that you know that are like-minded. Start a community. Hey, let's do this. Let's start with a potluck.
I'm contagious.
Excuse me. I think
even
so.
over the internet.
Whatever it is bad.
Is that a computer virus?
But yeah, I mean, start with your neighbors, because your neighbors you're gonna have to depend on.
I think you're right, Levi.
Yep, absolutely right. He said, I honestly feel that people who live in rural communities are closer knit than those who live in more populated communities. You're absolutely right. You know, because in small communities, it's generational.
Yeah.
You know, your old farms, especially around here, you know, I mean, I say especially around here because that's what I know. You know, all your old farms they've been farming for generations. It's not something that they just, well, I'm going to become a farmer. Who in their right mind would become a farmer? Unless it's something you know. Because it's hard work and it's expensive to get into. But yeah, so the small areas are you're better off because you know that the generational people. I mean, I can name offhand on one, you know, number of farming families around here, and they've been doing it for generations. And I'm sure the same way for where you grew up, Mark. You can probably name tons of people.
I remember an old guy come up to us and say, "Hey, you know, if you ever need any help out there, I saw you was having trouble with that tractor. Just come down by the house. I'll come out and help you. Your granddaddy and your uncles used to help me all the time. You know, that's how it works."
Yep, it is. Fortunately, you know, when you're a kid, teenager, whatever, chances are they know your parents. So if you're out being stupid, you know, I know when I was a kid, they'd have kicked my butt before sending me home, and then sent me home to get my butt kicked again.
That's also true.
But that's not a bad thing.
But they'd help you.
Absolutely, absolutely, they would. You know, it's something. It's something that's been lost to our society, is being neighborly.
Right.
How many people can honestly say they know their neighbors now?
Yeah.
You
know a few of mine, but
yeah, I mean, I know 3 of mine. One of them we work with. Another one I've had run-ins with, and I could care less. I don't really like him. And then, you know, the guy that helped me out with the dog, which we'd only talked a few times. But we kind of sit around and talked for a while when I went down to get my dog, so I kind of got to know him a little bit more. And he's a great guy, super nice guy. Yep, that's it. He said, even now I still run into people saying, "You're Phil's boy, right?" Yep.
Yeah, I bet my son's getting sick of that now.
Oh, I'm sure. That's the world we live in. It's a small rural area. You know,
we're fortunate to live where we live, Phil.
We are, absolutely we are. You know, growing up, I wanted nothing more than to get out of here and leave. And I had no intention of coming back.
Yeah.
Other than, you know, for vacations or, you know, come back and visit my family or whatever. I had no intention to move and live back here. And I was gone for almost 10 years. And look where I'm at.
I'm right back.
This is home.
Well, hell, in this area, even the meth heads will stop and help you change a tire.
Right? I mean, be careful. They might be looking to see if you got a catalytic converter or something.
I mean, yeah, but they'll help you change your tire.
Right. Absolutely, man. Um, I don't know. I really think this is the most important thing that we can do as a group, as people who think the way we think, is the community. Like we say, start locally. You can't get any more local than that.
It doesn't have to be a big community either. You can start small.
No,
Uh,
absolutely.
I'd like to call it more of a 3-man interest group than a 3-man militia, because that's really what he was going for when he
Right.
coined the term.
Yep.
Uh, but it works.
It
Three
absolutely
is
does.
3 is a good number to start with.
It is. And then build upon that. Get to know, if you don't already, get to know their families, get to know them.
Yeah.
Because if you don't know somebody, can you truly rely on them?
And a lot of people are prideful, and they won't come to you for help. If you don't know them, you won't know they need help,
Right.
and vice versa.
Absolutely. And it's a I don't know. This got to start here. And it doesn't have to be growing food. It was just an example of the way our world is right now. Everybody's going to need food.
It'd
I
be
mean, granted, we're
mechanics.
coming. Yeah, have a mechanic group or a community around mechanics. I mean, they're pretty brash. They're crude. I mean,
They have no
trust me,
feelings.
none.
No,
Feelings don't
mechanics
exist.
have no feelings.
You're not allowed.
No,
But I don't know one that wouldn't give you the shirt off his back.
that's exactly right.
Willing to step out and help somebody. I can't think of one.
No,
But that's also good to have in a group. You don't have
right.
to, like I said, start small. Start with an interest in something,
Ham
whether it be
radio,
food production, ham radio, um, mechanics, you name it. This is what
computers.
Mike was getting at. Yeah, computers. This is what Mike was getting at with his 3-man militia idea. And it's an awesome idea
Yeah,
because it can be anything. And grow on it. Because if I were to bring people in out here, okay, I'd have my core group to start out, and I would like to do more like food production, just because, for one, that's what we've been talking about, but two, the way the
right.
world is. But to be sustainable, have somebody that knows plumbing, like for wells, um,
Tractors.
tractors. My wife and I were talking about really hitting permaculture hard. Somebody, excuse me, somebody that knows something about it to help us in that direction. Um,
And you can teach each other.
right. Somebody that's able to bring in solar or wind or something like that. That's a backup plan. Somebody that can build better than I can. I mean, I'm not the best carpenter in the world. I can do enough to
You're
get
better than
by.
me, I bet.
I can build. I mean, I can build enough things to get by. Truly have somebody that knows the ins and outs to be able to structure, or if it came down to it, and say,
Yeah,
okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to build this, and you guys can live here. And even if it's just little bitty tiny homes, it's shelter.
right.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't know. There's so many ways you could go. You could go with it.
You could have groups of
Um,
groups.
Absolutely, you can. Absolutely, you can.
Have 3 guys that do gardening, 3 guys that do animal husbandry, 3 guys that do mechanics, 3 guys that do plumbing and electrical.
Yeah, because really, no matter what you think, you're not going to be able to get through any preparedness situation alone.
No,
You can't.
you got to count on
There's
your
no way
friends and neighbors
possible.
and your family.
You right. So why not be proactive right now and create that group?
And there's already groups out there that you can join
Yes.
that will help you.
Right.
You've got church families, Lions Club, Shriners, whatever you
Yeah.
want.
I mean,
Those guys help each other out. I mean, you need something, those guys are there. Boom.
right.
And you do the same for them.
And then I know there's a group around here that focuses solely on raising bees for honey
Right.
and stuff like that. I mean, that's an amazing thing. I wouldn't know where to start.
I'd get stung.
Right.
Exactly where
I
I'd
mean,
start and end.
I could go buy all the stuff and I wouldn't know where to start.
See you, Levi.
See you, Levi. Have a good night, bud. But yeah, I mean, so find somebody that knows where to start, even if you don't bring them into the community.
They can
You can
teach
do
you.
that. You can have a monthly meeting. My wife. Oh, bees. I want bees.
She can take care of them then.
But, you could have group, or monthly meetings. Say, like for my case, in like my shop. We can hang out there. We could throw some stuff on the grill, have kind of a potluck, and then have a speaker come and talk to us about, say, raising bees, what you need, how to get started, and all that. Just because you're all in it for this one topic doesn't mean you can't go outside and find somebody that knows to have them teach you. And in some instances, they may charge you to do that. But if the
That's
knowledge
fine.
is worth it, it's an investment.
Invest in books.
Because who's to say, yeah, who's to say this knowledge, let's say, man, you have a huge crop of everything. Man, your garden produces like crazy, right? More than your whole group can eat. So what do you do with it? I mean, let's say you've preserved all you want to preserve and you're still bringing stuff on. What do you do with it? Do you donate it? Do you go to the farmer's market and sell it?
You trade it.
Do you trade it for knowledge or goods? Because I'm sorry, folks, there's a time coming where you're going to have to trade. It's going to be a barter economy. Not to mention, you're better off doing that anyway.
Yeah, because you know where the stuff comes from.
Right. Money is damn near worthless as it is. We all know this. Whether you want to admit it or not, we all know this. And then when they get to this digital US dollar or whatever the hell they're talking about, they're going to be able to control what you buy, when you buy it, how you buy it. So spit yourself out of the system. Take the first step. Create a community. Help each other out. Now's the time to do it.
Right.
If you're going to do planning, okay, great. Now's the time to do it, to start planning for next spring.
Yeah, because they may make it so you can't buy the equipment. No, we lost Phil.
Now's the time to get everything. You there?
Oh, he's back. He's back.
All right.
I'm here.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, now's the time to get everything you need. So start now. Start building your communities now. That's the biggest thing I can tell anybody. Don't wait. Don't wait for somebody to take the lead. Because if you're waiting for somebody to take the lead, you're going to wait a long time. Take the first step and have the conversation with people. Have the conversation with friends, family, whoever you want to bring into your community. Who do you trust? It all starts with a conversation.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, if you want to make an example of why you need to do this, for one, I mean, obviously produce, prices for everything. Two, remember the shortage of the paper goods, the toilet paper and
Right.
paper towels and baby wipes and all that here a couple years ago? Remember that shortage?
Yeah.
Why not take steps to get the ball rolling? You don't have to have a leader. You might take the lead to get it going. But if you come together with a democratic process, vote on everything.
Right.
This is the way it is. If what you're going or what you want to go through doesn't go through, but your community has decided is better off not, deal with it. Don't get butt hurt.
And that's why 3-person groups are great, because it's real easy. Democracy works real good in small numbers.
Absolutely does. So, I don't know. It's just an idea we wanted to throw out to you guys. But if you don't take the steps, it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen at all.
Yeah.
It might all sound good, great, and wonderful. But if nobody takes the first step, it's never going to happen. So it's on you, the listener. If this is something that you're interested in, something that you want to do, take that step. This is your call to action. Right now, the way things are, can you do it by yourself? Ask yourself that. Can you make it on your own?
I know I can't.
I can't either. If you had all day, every day to work on your farm or your garden or whatever, you still can't make it by yourself.
Yeah.
Because there's always going to be something to do. There's always going to be something that comes up.
Shortage of hands.
Right. Always. Always, always, always. Take the step now. Yeah. My wife, she just posted. She's absolutely right. She's like, nope, we have so much to do just for us. Yeah.
It is. It takes a village.
It does. Absolutely it does. It's time to get back to that. Be the world that you want to create. If you don't want to depend on the supply chain, if you don't want to depend on the government, take those steps. Lessen that burden on you. That way you're not worried about things. We talk about food preparedness and all that, with My Patriot Supply. That's what it's for. It's for insurance. That way you don't have to worry about it. But it's short term. Absolutely it is. So take the step now. If you have it at your disposal, do it. And if you come together with a community and you guys don't have the land or the room to do what you want, how about everybody pitch in and go buy an acre of land or a couple of acres of land?
An empty lot.
An empty lot. And start a community. Start a food forest. or traditional, your traditional garden or whatever, which I'm really more looking into a food forest than anything. But I want to get Joe back on eventually to talk about permaculture again.
I would like to do that. I am very fascinated by the idea, and I feel like it's something that I can pull off here in my backyard. I can't
I
provide
think you
all the
can.
food for my family, but uh, I can supplement it to a pretty good degree.
Yeah, that's what it's about. It's about that peace of mind. And to me, peace of mind is invaluable.
It
I mean, it's
is.
priceless. Absolutely
I mean,
priceless.
you got to sleep at night. You
Right.
can't be worried about every little thing.
You know, so really just sit there and think it out. Write it out if you have to. Think through things. Make a list. Your top 5 people who you want in your community. People you can trust. I mean, like I said earlier, it's not necessarily a food co-op because you're not in it to make a profit. You're in it to provide for yourself and your community.
It's
You
more
know,
of a mutual support society.
exactly. That's what it is. Exactly what it is. You're supporting each other by helping each other out. Not only that, but the camaraderie will be outstanding.
Working together with people will deepen your friendship.
Absolutely, it
It really
will.
will, and your friendships will be more rewarding because you're actually doing something than sitting around drinking beer and
Right,
telling stories about the glory days.
right. How about how about learning to make beer? I mean, I know Mark, you've got this, but why not plant the stuff that you need to make beer? That's a barterable
Hey,
item. Plus,
you got
while you're
you got
growing
room
it,
for some barley, man?
hell yeah, I
We'll,
do. Come on.
we'll grow some barley, man. Yeah, I saw you have an empty granary too. We could make that work, man.
Yep. My wife said we also need to get rainwater collection going. That would have helped during this drought. Absolutely, it would have.
I'm looking at that for here.
So, but on that note, disclaimer: make sure your laws allow it. I mean, it's up to you, but I'm just throwing a disclaimer out there.
Yeah,
Wink, wink, nod,
Bacania
nod.
better be legal because
Not a
we
bad
our water
idea.
goes down with if a squirrel winks at the water supply line. I don't,
Yeah, my wife said she read that it's been the driest summer since like 1897. So yeah, it's been a long time.
yeah.
Yeah. She said she was going to sprout barley for animal feed. Yeah, the rabbits love it.
Well,
So
there you go.
we can do it. I don't know if hops will grow here all that great, but
Hops will grow anywhere, my friend.
well, what are we waiting
They will
on?
grow in your house without any problem.
Yeah. So what are we waiting on then?
I don't
I
know.
mean, we can make our build our own brewery or whatever.
I mean, we
Yeah.
can.
So
I have the knowledge. I have the books. I've done it.
yeah, absolutely.
I've just
Pam,
been
we should
wanting to
make
upgrade my equipment.
Pam, we should make checklists of what both friends and ourselves know how to do. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, she is. She almost always
Absolutely
is.
right. But you gotta start with that conversation, just to meet and greet, just to get together, start building that community, start building that rapport with people you don't know. Get to know them, your neighbors. I mean, if you live in a
Right.
neighborhood, hey, how about you know, go knock on doors, say, hey, I'm hosting a potluck and I want to invite you over. And just have the not even you don't even have to talk about preparedness. You don't have to talk about growing food or whatever. Just get to know your neighbors.
See if they're
Because
people you want to hang with.
yeah, I mean, because it's fundamental. I mean, you've got to kind of get to know them to know if you want them to join you or not. So anyway, I don't have a lot left. I mean, without just going back over
Beating the
everything
horse.
else. Yeah.
No, I think we've covered it, and we'll continue to cover it during our preparedness episodes because I think it's fundamental uh, in any kind of situation, whether it's an emergency situation or you know just the bad economy and you know whatnot. And
Right.
you never know what's going to happen. Plus, I'm telling you, you're going to find a lot of satisfaction into doing things for yourself and the camaraderie that you will have by doing it with a group of
Right.
like-minded people.
Right. And you'll be surprised who you find that is
Want to interact
really
on
like
social
minded.
media, not in person. So
Yep. So reach
that
out,
being
reach out and
said,
talk to your neighbors. That being said, and you start coughing. What?
that being said, uh, even if you never have a situation where you need to have a group for some kind of emergency, these are going to be people that you know well enough to call to say, "Hey, my car's broke down. Come get me. My kid's going to the ER." You know, and you tell somebody for me, or what have you. I mean, like I said, everybody wants to talk on social media, and nothing gets said or done.
Yep.
But if you have people that you talk to every week, every 2 weeks, even that are like-minded, that you have an interest that you want to share with each other, those become those become your friends, and it's much more rewarding to have one or two good friends that you can sit down in their living room and talk to than 500 friends on Facebook who just put on a mask
Yep.
uh, for the world to see.
Yep.
I'm
My wife
fortunate that
posted.
I have friends like that.
Yep. Absolutely. My wife posted, "We are natural social beings. It's instinctual for us to have a community. Look at how Indians lived. It just works." Yes, they
Yeah,
took
I
care of
mean,
each other.
for thousands of years, that's how communities work. The people in your village were just the same as your family.
Yep.
They would do for you, you would do for them.
Yep. I
So,
mean,
and
I
that's
don't know.
part
I
of
mean,
what's
it
wrong with the world today.
absolutely is. I would agree 100% with that. And like I said, I am very. I don't know how I want to say it, but I'm not a people person. I'm
You
not a
don't need
very
to be.
social person. No, you don't. But I'm willing to step outside of my comfort zone. Absolutely, I am. And I intend to. But I really do, Mark. I really do want to kind of do a community potluck somewhere, I mean, we could throw some stuff on the smoker and hang out and invite
I
people
like it.
out, have
I
them
like
bring
it.
something and just visit. We'll host something, maybe as a meet and greet type thing or something like that. We'll hash out the details if that's something that everybody wants to do or whatever. I don't care if it's 5 people. I don't care if it's 10 people or 100 people.
Right.
I think it'd be cool just to have a meet and greet and
Put some meat
just
on
get
the
some.
smoker and
Yeah, yeah,
fire up
and,
the
and
fire ring.
we could find some place local that'll let us do it and just make an afternoon or something of it.
I like it.
So, uh, but we'll hash out the details and we'll put something up on the group. We'll do a Facebook group meet and greet or community outreach. I don't know, something. I don't know. We'll figure something out. So, um,
It'll be
with that being
after.
said, what's that?
It'll have to be after the Paracon.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely. It's going to take a lot
Yeah.
longer to plan. So I mean, it definitely. Um, uh, so with that being said, I don't have a lot more to share. Don't forget, and we're going to beat this horse till it's dead and then beyond. I mean, definitely go support SEK or Bordertown Paranormal Society's Paracon. It's growing every year. Did some design work for some limited edition T-shirts we're getting out. You'll see the panel probably wearing them, but there's going to be a couple giveaways. So come out and check them out. It's a lot of fun, guys.
Maybe we should leave them available on the website for a limited time.
Yeah, maybe so. By all means. We're going to try to revamp. I got to talk to Ben about getting our website updated and all that stuff. We'll keep it up there, and I'll send Pam and Jess and all those guys. I'll send the link over to the shirts and stuff. Or the file or whatever. If you guys want to make your own shirts or what have you, it doesn't matter to me. I'm not in it for the money, and if somebody wants a shirt, maybe we could fill out some order forms or something like that at the Paracon, and kind of have it sent to them or whatever. So, yeah, but by all means, go check them out, near or far, or whatever. If you can get here, go to it. It's worth.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
What's that? You cut out, Mark.
Oh, it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, absolutely. It's interesting. I mean, we had a good panel last year. The rain kind of shut us out last year, but it's going to be indoors this year, and it seems like there's going to be a lot more people there just for panelists.
And it is the only event in the 4-state area on National Ghost Hunter Day. Sweet. And we have decided that it's going to be annual. I believe it's the third Saturday in September from here on out. National Ghost Hunter.
Nice. Yeah. So yeah, definitely. If you guys come check it out, you'll get to meet Mark and I, even hang out for a little bit, and come share your stories. We want, we're talking on the fringe here, but we love hearing everybody's stories, and I would like to do a show. For Halloween this year. I mean, we're early, but we need to get early because I want user submitted or listener or viewer submitted stories. We kind of want to do some creepypasta. I think it'd be fun putting an extra show together to get it out there, or even just a normal show. We'll trade stories and all that. I think it'd be a lot of fun. I think it'd be a lot of fun. We got time out there. I'll put it up on the group. Yeah, Pam said we'll have over 20 panelists. A lot of people, a lot of stories, all that. So definitely come check it out. You won't be disappointed, I promise. But yeah, we also want to do kind of listener submitted stories, stuff like that, and that's why we're there at lunch. Like I said earlier, we're going to be listening to your stories and recording you, and we're going to make a show out of it. So
forgive us if we eat while you talk.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll let you talk, and we'll spit food on you and just move on. So. Oh, Mark's dying again.
Don't make me laugh.
With that being said, folks, we thank you again for your time. We thank you again for watching and listening. Thanks for the interaction. It's so much fun to have interaction on the live episodes. If YouTube or Facebook isn't your thing, we're now live on Rumble. So we've got that going for us. So we've got Facebook, YouTube, and Rumble now. So definitely, if catch us any one of those places, join the conversation. You got any questions?
You want to run the teaser?
Whatever? Yeah, I can run the teaser.
Yeah, I think.
Yep, we're getting closer.
It's getting close.
Big meeting. Yeah, we got to have a big meeting. But we're getting close. Yep. I mean, if you're listening, we're just doing a quick teaser for a network that we are joining and helping create. So we got a lot of work to do yet on that. We got to meet with a bunch of other guys and go from there. Hopefully soon we'll be kicking it off. So with all that said, I can't even talk right now. With all that being said, folks, we thank you again. Thank you for your time. It's truly appreciated. I guess we'll catch you next episode.
Good night, folks.